If you've been thinking about getting serious with your money, like actually serious, now's the time. The Motley Fool is offering new members 50% off their iconic stock recommendation service, Stock Advisor. This is the same service that's crushed the market with recommendations that have returned 1,057% since inception, compared to the S&P 500's 180% over that same period. This isn't guesswork. The Motley Fool has a track record of finding companies before they become household names. So if you want to invest smarter and you like saving money while doing it, go to fool.com/listen to claim your 50% off discount off a 1-year term of Stock Advisor. Again, that's fool.com/listen. Returns of 1,057% are from the Motley Fool's product Stock Advisor and measured against S&P 500 returns of 180% as of July 10th, 2025. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. All investing involves a risk of loss. Individual investment results may vary.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw, and I am joined by my good friend. He is the host of the On Seagal podcast. You have heard him on here before with Father Malone, but tonight it's just the two of us. My good friend all the way from the Pacific Northwest, Mr. Trevor Gumbel.
Hello. Good to be back. Happy to be back.
And on this episode of the Kulturecast, we are going to be talking about another body swap film, this time from 1988. You may have heard of it, you may not have. But after this episode, you're probably gonna, maybe you're gonna watch it. I don't know. You might not to. You might not want to. I don't know. I don't know you. But you know what? We'll make a pretty good case as to either this movie's good or bad. We're talking about 1988's Vice Versa.
Stop dumping on me, Dad.
I've been up since 6 and I have a very tough day ahead.
I wish I could change places with you.
Well, I wish I could too.
Inside Marshall Seymour, successful businessman, divorced father, and self-styled workaholic, beats the heart of a little boy. Because Marshall Seymour is about to become his 11-year-old son, Charlie.
Awesome!
And vice versa.
Maybe this happened all over America.
And what's gonna happen to you? You're 6'2" with the brain of an 11-year-old.
Charlie may be getting to that age.
He's losing it.
I think he has a crush on me.
No way! You never told me you had to see my homeroom teacher.
You never told me what hockey practice.
What is that?
I'm in the tub, do you mind? This is the woman I couldn't live with as a husband. And now I'm gonna be her son.
I'll do anything you want, Sam.
It's not what I want. It's what we want as a unit.
She's worried about your unit, Dad.
It's a Freudian nightmare.
Judge Reinhold.
Are you all right?
Do I look all right?
Fred Savage.
I don't suppose you have any Grey Poupon.
Vice versa.
What if we're stuck like this?
Oh my God. I have to go through puberty again.
The film is directed by Brian Gilbert. It is written by Ian Leigh Frenet and Dick Clement. It is based off of a F. Anstey film it is the fourth big screen adaptation of the F. Anstey novel of the same name. It was also adapted into a UK TV series in 1981. The film stars Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage as the two characters who swap bodies. Or not swap bodies. We'll get to that as to what the device through which they switch bodies is, because I think for me that's one of the more interesting parts of these movies so far is what is the device through which people swap bodies? Before we get to that, though, Trevor, I know you have a little bit of a history with this film, so I'm going to cede the floor to you. What did you think of Vice Versa?
Well, this is a movie I'd watched quite a few times growing up, and it had been a while since I'd seen it, and I watched it last night, and surprisingly, it holds up really well. I mean, save for some uncomfortable moments that we'll get to. I was kind of struck by how incredible Judge Reinhold was in the film. He was absolutely hysterical in this film, and I think, he's kind of underrated when it comes to acting. His comedic timing is really amazing. Fred Savage did really well playing what he usually plays, which is a kid pretending to be an adult.
I was going to say, that's just Fred Savage's like normal setting. It's not like a body swap thing. He's just always kind of the like, he was always, to me, like you mentioned, like Macaulay Culkin was the kid acting like a teenager. Fred Savage was always the kid acting like an adult. And I think obviously Wonder Years has a large hand in that.
Exactly. And I mean, in the late 80s, early 90s, I was a huge Fred Savage fan. And I was kind of on a kick, because, they had Little Monsters, they had The Wizard, Vice Versa, The Princess Bride, even The Boy Who Could Fly. I was a huge Fred Savage fan. And so this movie was kind of, made for me. So it was kind of interesting to see Fred Savage say, "son of a bitch," so many times.
Or Fred Savage drinking martinis.
Yeah. God, that's again one of the uncomfortable moments of the film is you have a supposedly 11-year-old drinking martinis while his quote unquote dad reads Mad Magazine, talking about busting balls.
So I had never seen this film before, but this film, I saw the trailer for it on YouTube as I was just kind of sitting at my computer in a either high drunk or high drunken stupor watching trailers, because I don't know about anyone else listening to this podcast, but I really love movie trailers. I find movie trailers to be an interesting microcosm of like the film industry, because at times it's its own kind of mini art form, and then at other times it's exactly what it's meant to be, which is an advertisement for another film. But, ultimately, because movie trailers are meant to entice you to watch the film in question. And so when I saw the trailer for this film with Judge Reinhold, who I'm really disappointed we didn't get to talk to Judge Reinhold. I fucking love Judge Reinhold. I love the Santa Claus. No problem admitting that. I also love Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Beverly Hills Cop. He's in Gremlins. Admittedly not as much as...
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week, and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
In Gremlins as I would like, but he also, like you said, he has really good comedic timing, and he seemed, I don't know, but he seems like a genuinely interesting person and like a genuinely like charismatic guy. I would say it's not even like a question. He's a pretty charismatic actor.
Very.
But, I think, again, another body swap movie. I like this movie, but this movie doesn't begin to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't do a whole lot with the body swap trope that, one could expect to see at this point. But it does enough, and like you said, it has 2 charismatic leads, and like we saw last week with Like Father, Like Son, again, you can get by with 2 charismatic leads. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you make a body swap movie, and I don't think you're going to. Not everything could be like the movie we're talking about on the next episode, Freaky, where it's a horror body swap movie, which kind of is doing something different with the trope, but at the same time, you can make something that's funny, and I mean, this movie's stupid. I mean, this movie's not trying to be, highbrow entertainment. It's stupid and fun, and it's touching. I mean, it's a movie that has a lot of heart, and I think it shows its heart on its sleeve, and I'm actually pretty shocked at how much I like this movie, given, again, very low expectations.
Well, I think that's what separates this from the other body swap movies of the time. 18 Again, or Like Father Like Son, is that it has heart. It has a very gentle nature to it, because you can definitely tell the love that the father and son have for each other, how much they care about each other, and how much they want to protect each other. And I wouldn't say the movie's stupid. It definitely has some smarter moments. I mean, like you said, it does fall into some body swapping film tropes, where, the kid does something adult and the adult doesn't understand why the kid's acting like this, or the co-workers of Judge Reinhold thinks he's having a nervous breakdown. But, I think it's the better of the 80s body swap films. And, bonus that Fred Savage didn't grow up to become a religious nut fanatic. So
yeah, there is that. That was kind of the pit that we had to navigate, needless to say, on the last episode, because I got it out of the way at the beginning. I will say it again. Kirk Cameron is a piece of shit.
Oh God. Can you imagine Fred Savage in Left Behind?
Oh no, because I don't think Fred Savage is a psychopath. At least I haven't been led to believe that he's a complete nut job.
No.
But I mean, to your point, there is something about this film that it seems to have a little bit more of like a good-natured vibe to it.
Yeah.
Because, the stakes aren't particularly high. The villains aren't particularly, villainous. They're just kind of morons, and they end up getting, end up getting swapped. You have David Preval, who, I mean, Richie Abril from The Sopranos, for those of you that are fans of the show. He does a great job. Swoosie Kurtz is decent. She, again, not really given much to do. She's a fantastic actress, but she's not given a whole lot to do. And Corinne Bohrer, I mean, again, like, everyone in this movie is doing good work.
To me, you could have probably taken out the subplot with Swoosie Kurtz and David Preval, and it really wouldn't have changed that much.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
No, it really was kind of I think we need a bad guy, so let's just add these, what were they, art smugglers?
Yeah, the device through which Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold swap bodies is Judge Reinhold is a kind of a department store executive, and he's going to Thailand to find new merchandise that they can sell at their store for a markup, and David Preval's character sees Judge Reinhold and picks him as kind of a rube, and they use Judge Reinhold's shipment coming back to the United States that's not going to get looked at by customs. They use his shipment to get this skull out of the country, and this skull is stolen from a Buddhist monastery at the beginning of the film, and them touching the skull at the same time switches bodies. But like you said, like, the David Preval, Swoosie Kurtz, like, doesn't add anything.
It adds maybe like 5-10 minutes of more storyline, but other than that, it was just kind of, we're back to this again. Can we just go back to Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage and Corinne Bohrer? That was a more interesting story take than I thought than the Swoosie Kurtz, David Preval stuff was. And that's nothing against them. They're terrific character actors, but it just kind of slowed the film down to a halt.
And that for me is the issue with a comedy, is when it all of a sudden decides to completely drop to a dead halt and go into another genre. I'm not particularly interested. Yeah,
like with the whole kidnapping subplot and them trying to get trying to switch out the skull for this Ming, or this vase that Judge Reinhold had originally purchased, but it had gotten mixed up.
Keep calling it what do they call it? A ginger jar?
A ginger jar. That's it. A ginger jar. I've never heard of a ginger jar until this film. Me
either.
So yeah, I mean.
But I mean, like because I mean the whole thing, it feels like with these body swap movies is it feels almost like sitcom-esque. it's all about like the situational comedy and these like wacky situations. Like what would it be like if Judge Reinhold was actually Fred Savage and he had to go and present a meeting that if he didn't nail the landing, his dad would lose his job. Like, isn't that crazy? Or, what would it be if Fred Savage is actually Judge Reinhold and he's taking a bath in the house of his divorcee wife? Like, isn't that weird? Like,
I mean, I think they add more to it than to make it just kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just, it feels very situational comedy-esque. Like, I mean,
it's kind of par for the course with the genre of film that we're talking about.
Yeah. They're all the same. They're all the same in that respect. It's all about these, like, it feels like there's barely a plot, and the plot is we need to figure out a way to undo what we've done. And along the way, we're going to learn a little bit about each other. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. No. But that's also, I'm not going to say lazy, but you could do more with it. You just choose not to.
I think they were kind of aiming low because it's, a PG movie? I think they kind of wanted to appeal to kids as well as adults, so they were kind of aiming for the middle.
Well, whenever you have a lead, one lead is a child and the other lead is an adult, exactly. That's exactly what, I mean, this isn't like the swap or the change up, the Ryan Reynolds, Jason Bateman movie. Like, that movie's rated R.
And it was terrible.
Well, yeah, but that goes without saying. I mean, again, it's, with these body swap movies, if the chemistry between the leads isn't there, if the two actors as the leads cannot have a funny scene together or even be funny on their own, these movies do not work and they feel like a drag.
But luckily, Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold work really well together.
They're believable as father and son. They really are.
Well, and when they swap bodies, I think they work off each other extremely well.
Judge Reinhold as Fred Savage is hilarious.
It's my favorite thing in the whole movie is Judge Reinhold.
Dad!
No!
Dad, what are you doing?
What a spaz!
And the funny thing is, Fred Savage's character doesn't sound like that when it's Fred Savage as Fred Savage.
But you know what?
It's not like he's doing like a West Coasty surfer thing, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like he was talking so like this, man.
Yeah, it's like Spicoli or fucking Bill and Ted. Like, Dad, like you can literally imagine Keanu going Dad in Bill and Ted because he fucking does. Like that's like straight out of that like West Coast. No, I'm not going to say stoners because Bill and Ted aren't fucking stoners, everybody. But it's like the surfer, cool, chill vibes bullshit. And it's like, that is not Fred Savage's character. But that choice that Judge Reinhold makes totally works for the movie because it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's not Fred Savage's character at all.
No, Fred Savage's character, I mean, even before he turns adult, is kind of, he's really nothing... There's really nothing about him that screams, I'm 11 years old and, oh, Dad, you're so lame, man. He's
just the perpetually disappointed child.
Exactly. But Judge Reinhold plays him as everything in the adult world drives him so batty, crazy, happy. Like, everything makes him so excited. Like, oh my God, this is awesome. This department store. Look. Oh my God. Yo, how are you? Hi.
Space Invaders, bro. I can play it all day. Like, okay.
My pet frog has his own sink.
But like, I'm okay with that because it works. But again, that's not the character that Fred Savage is portraying. I will say, and we didn't talk about it, the body swapping. It's not their mind swap, which seems to be like every single one of these movies so far has been like their consciousnesses swap. Mm-hmm. This is Fred Savage literally turns into Judge Reinhold.
And Judge
Reinhold literally turns into Fred Savage.
I think it's funny when it's actually the transformation scene is actually part of it. It's kind of intense and kind of scary in a way.
It's a little altered statesy. Like exactly. It's a little sci-fi, a little weird. I mean, it's a little Lou Ferrigno in the Hulk because it does the thing with their like faces are superimposing. It's like, Dad, what? And you like watch Fred Savage grow, and it's weird.
You see this shoe break and his foot pop out. You see his shirt rip. You see Judge Reinhold shrinking. I'm like, this is some scary shit.
Yeah, I mean that would be right at home in like American Werewolf in London. Like you are led to believe that these characters transforming into one another is not a comfortable, proposition for them.
I think they acclimate to it pretty quickly, a little more quickly than I think it would really happen in real life if this happened to an adult. They kind of Fred Savage. Well, Judge Reinhold quote Fred Savage. His character kind of acclimates to it pretty quickly, and to the fact that you get to go to school and take my test, and I'll get straight A's. And he even picks them up and says, "I'm bigger than you now."
I loved that. That was hilarious. Or when he grabbed the skull and was holding it up and Fred Savage couldn't grab it.
Playing keep away. Yeah, the keep. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, like those little moments are so fun and further reinforce that like father-son relationship. And look, I'm not saying that in like Father Like Son, Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron didn't have that. I don't think it was as strong as in this one, and that has nothing to do with Kirk Cameron as a human being outside of the film. I just think there's something about Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage's chemistry that's so genuine.
Yeah, it feels
doesn't
real.
Feel forced.
It feels very much more natural and real father-son relationship. And what I liked about Fred Savage's character is that usually in a film with divorced parents, the kid hates who the parent is dating now or who the parent is with now. You know that trope?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
In this film, Fred Savage is actually really likes Judge Reinhold's girlfriend and really likes living with his mom and her new husband. So I think that was kind of refreshing to not have that bratty kid like, "You're not my mom." Where in the film, he actually really is really likes Corn Bohr's character. And he's the one who actually proposes to her before body swapping back to Judge Reinhold.
Which I thought was like one of the smartest things that the film has done.
Yeah.
It's super weird, right?
Yeah, it's super weird that Fred Savage is proposing, then switching back to Judge Reinhold, and Judge Reinhold finding out, "Oh, I'm suddenly engaged now." I thought that was a really sweet scene. So,
I mean, I found a lot of the moments between Corinne Bohr and Judge Reinhold as Fred Savage to be really good moments of character building. And, you getting to really, like you said, you get to see that there are going to be characters in this film that are not just one-dimensional shitheads. That was kind of the issue in Like Father, Like Son, is there weren't any, like, ancillary characters to really get invested in, but Corinne Bohr's character, you actually like her. You have, you have Jane Kaczmarek for a little bit. She's not given a whole lot to do. But, you have those two female characters actually have some screen time, actually have some interesting part to play in the story. And I like that a lot because in the last film, there wasn't any of that. And, I'm not saying that puts this film above that one, but
it does.
It does. It does. I mean, again, if the two leads are so charismatic together, and then on top of everything else, you actually have secondary characters who you could get invested in, and their relationships with the main characters are so believable. Yeah. I mean, I think this is a better movie than Like Father, Like Son, but for me, I don't think it does much more than Like Father, Like Son did to try to, quote, reinvent the body swap wheel.
Well, I thought the Corn Bohr scenes, I kind of liked how it was kind of focusing on the relationship and how it's kind of strained, and how as soon as Judge Reinhold turns into Fred Savage, she seems to be happier in the relationship because, he lets himself loose a bit. And I think maybe that can be a trope too, where the stuffy guy becomes looser and people like him better for it because, man, you should have loosened up a long time ago. That kind of trope.
Well, and they did that in Like Father, Like Son. And I mean, another movie I know we're talking about this month, Freaky Friday, it does it too. This one does it. Like, that's like one of the easy tropes, right? It's like, oh, you're such a fucking square. And then I'm going to make people realize how not a square you are, but it's not actually you. It's me pretending to be you. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I thought the scene where he takes her to the concert was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
The lead singer making the dumbest faces I've ever seen. I don't know if you remember that scene.
You mean you're not a fan of Malice?
Oh, God. I'm a huge fan of Malice. I didn't even know they were a real band until I looked them up.
Yeah, and they're from your neck of the woods, too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They're from up in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, they were formed in Portland, of all places. And they still exist as a band. They took a hiatus from 88 to 2006, but they still perform, which I too had to look up as to whether or not they were a real band. And
actually, that was part of one of my favorite lines in the film is when Judge Reinhold Kornbauer and Fred Savage are at dinner, and Fred Savage goes, "Can we see Malice at the Riviera?" And Judge Reinhold goes, "Is that an Agatha Christie movie?"
Yeah, like they try to make Judge Reinhold as much of a ding dong as possible.
Yeah.
I love how 88 this movie is.
It is.
Do you have any gray poupon?
Love it. I love it.
Like, that is so 80s, right?
Yeah, I mean,
overwhelmingly 80s.
I love how a frog can cause a whole restaurant to burst into chaos. Like a small frog.
Well, that's that movie logic, right?
Yeah.
It's like if something bad happens in a movie, not only does it happen badly, it happens the worst it's ever happened.
Like, oh my God, it's a frog.
This frog is wreaking havoc on our nice Italian-French restaurant?
As some diners are probably eating frog's legs at this moment.
And also eating gray poop. Like, the gray poupon thing cracks me up because we were talking about this on Like Father, Like Son, how, this movie really justifies itself as a film, like, oh, how 87 is this movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this movie is an 80. Like, this movie, again, feels like an 80s movie, and it justifies it with the gray poupon line. Like, that's like, because, a lot of people, younger than you and I, maybe don't know the gray poupon ad. But it's really it's really funny that this is like a comedy bit that they go back to not once but twice.
Oh, it was but back in that day it was kind of ripe for comedy.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm surprised we didn't see I'm surprised we didn't see a character look at the camera and go, "Where's the beef?"
And well, they kind of, even when they go to Wayne's World, they have a Grey Poupon joke. I mean, because in the late 80s, for our younger listeners, I will explain. Grey Poupon was this kind of yellow mustard with white wine. It was kind of in a fancy jar. It was kind of the epitome of...
You can buy it now at the store in a plastic bottle. It's just Dijon mustard.
Yeah.
It's not anything fucking special, and wasn't anything special then. It's not anything special now.
But in the 80s, people considered it, oh my God, that was the epitome of class and distinguish...
High society diners.
Exactly.
Putting Grey Poupon on your food.
Because the commercial, it was two chauffeured cars coming together. One rolls down the window and he goes, "Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?" "But of course." And it was just so fancy and, classy. So it makes you think, oh my gosh.
And yuppie.
Yeah, they must serve this at like the highest establishments. When in fact it's just Dijon mustard with a little wine sauce in it. Who cares? I don't even like mustard.
Well, I mean, again, the height of the 80s, Grey Poupon was, the yuppies sauce of choice. It's this further reinforcement of how, quote, out of touch Judge Reinhold's character is.
Exactly.
Do you have any Grey Poupon? When he's asking the lunch lady at school.
You would think he'd be smart enough to know that a school wouldn't have Grey Poupon.
You have any Grey Poupon? Like, dude, what the fuck?
I mean, there's some great scenes with Fred Savage as Judge Reinhold where he asks, I believe it's a teacher, where the homeroom or whatever is, and the teacher gives him kind of a smart-ass answer saying, did the heavy metal music kind of screw up your brain? And Fred Savage goes, "I asked a perfectly straightforward question. I would appreciate a straightforward answer." And so he just takes him by the ear to the principal's office.
And those kind of bits in this movie are why I like this movie, is because it knows it knows kind of how yuppie Judge Reinhold's character is, and it really allows Fred Savage to play inside of that sandbox of like, you get to act like a yuppie dickhead.
Exactly.
You know, Judge Reinhold's secretary, you know, she talks to Fred Savage as Judge Reinhold Judge Reinhold is Fred Savage on the phone, and she gets off the phone with him and she's like, God, that kid's just as much of an asshole as his dad.
A little prick that's just like his father.
Yeah, it's that. You know, it's a lot of that kind of, you know, oh, look how big of a dick Judge Reinhold is, because that also always seems to be the case with these body swap movies, is one of the characters seems to be more of an overt dickhead.
Exactly. But you know, when Judge Reinhold's character loosens up, it's a joy to watch. There's especially the scene where he walks by the music department or electronics department and he sees the guy playing guitar. And he's like, I play drums. And the guy's like, you know, tells him to go for it. And they all start jamming together. Even the cashier starts playing the keyboards and are having this jam session. And oh my God. And he gets out of it by the fact that the kid playing guitar is the son of a friend of the owner or something like that.
So, yeah. And it's like, oh, I never would have seen you this way.
And he thought it was, and the owner of the store thinks it was a deliberate decision by Reinhold to up the profits. So he's like, oh, and there's a early appearance by Jane Lynch, if you noticed.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
A very early permed hair Jane Lynch.
Yeah, her hair looked interesting. But she was...
It was very 88.
And she was woke before there was woke, because she insisted on being referred to as salesperson.
Yeah.
So,
what's up with that?
Well, you know, she was woke before it became a term. So good on Jane Lynch.
She was woke before woke was a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, of the things that this movie didn't have that Like Father, Like Son had, it didn't have a very good soundtrack.
I thought the score was okay. It was decent.
I'm talking about the soundtrack, not the score.
There wasn't that many songs in the film.
I know. That's a disappointment for me, because like, they mention Wang Chung.
Yeah. And
the only music that we hear in the movie, I think, is Malice.
And, well, the end credits song, and that's it.
Yeah, but like, it's not like Father Like Son spoiled us, because Like Father Like Son has like Motley Crue and Aerosmith and like a lot of like really like big time 80s hair metal bands, and I want that. I wanted that for this movie.
I think, you know, it didn't bother me that there wasn't many songs on the soundtrack. I did like the song "Set the Night to Music" by Starship, but you know, I think I didn't notice, I guess, is the thing, because I think the movie flowed pretty well without the music distraction. There's a scene where, I mean, I don't know, can you count the scene where Fred Savage is playing in that band in the talent show? A terrible band, but
the Judge Reinhold is a terrible father.
Yeah, the scene that they pretty much Jingle All the Way pretty much did again in the.
I was about to say Jingle All the Way totally rips that scene off.
I didn't make it.
Do you love Jingle All the Way as much as I do?
Oh God, with Jingle All the Way, I kind of hate it. It's supposed to be a message, you know. It's supposed to be a heartwarming family film, but I couldn't help but think the message is, you know, if to be a good parent, you have to get the toy that your son wants. I don't know. But I think...
I mean, to be fair, though, the script for Jingle All the Way originally was more a send-up of that concept and less of a, like, turning into it, if that makes sense.
Oh, you mean before the studio stole it from the guy and ripped him off, and he had to sue them to get his credit?
Yes, one and the same. But yeah, no, that was the original script, and the original script was very like on the nose about fuck you capitalism. You know, capitalism is the downfall of the American family. Like, and I think that message has a place. I just don't think that message is as profitable to a studio as look at Arnold running around doing funny, stupid shit.
Well, yeah, and adding Sinbad for some reason.
Sinbad's amazing. I love Jingle All the Way. I unabashedly love Jingle All the Way. I will not sit, it's a fucking guilty pleasure. You should not feel guilty for watching a movie. Okay?
I don't consider any movies I love to be guilty pleasures. Like,
I just like them.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit, right?
I will say this right now. One of my favorite movies is Super Mario Brothers, and I will fight to the death anyone who disagrees with me.
I mean, that movie's a piece of shit, but it's a glorious piece of shit. It is a failure of the highest order, but it's an impressive.
I don't even think it's a piece of shit. I think it's actually a very well done. It has its flaws, but I think there's really great stuff in it.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying it's a piece of shit purely off of the fact that, like, I don't think anyone's I mean, if you want to defend it as a good movie, I get it, but, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, it's a amazing cinema classic. But there is so much about that movie that so many people don't realize it went on to really shape, like, certain sci-fi things that would come after it, and it was so ahead of its time. But, like, it's not a good movie, but it's a fucking fun movie, and it's a laugh riot. If you sit down in the right mindset, you will have a great time.
I think it's part of the movie that got me into my obsession with the cyberpunk aesthetic, because the film looks...
It's very Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, it's very much... hell, you could see the inspiration in Judge Dredd, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting off track here. We're talking about Vice Versa.
No, but I mean, again, Vice Versa is considered a failure. Judge Reinhold has gone on record in saying that this is the reason he took a step back from his acting career.
That's sad.
Because this film flopped, and also apparently Judge Reinhold has a reputation of being hard to work with, which that seems more of a him problem than anyone else problem.
I mean, I read Roger Ebert. He gave it 3.5 stars.
How do you feel about Roger Ebert?
I think
I don't have respect for someone who wrote a book about movies that they hate.
Okay. Oh God, you're gonna hate me now.
Can you defend that though?
No, but I think people like watching things being torn apart, or they like reading bad reviews, because when he didn't like a movie, the way he wrote about it was very entertaining to read.
For us, but what about for the people who made the movie?
That I can't defend that.
And that for me is the issue.
Okay.
Like, we sit here and, I just said Super Mario Brothers is a piece of shit. But at the same time, I also heaped massive amounts of praise on it. So, like, it's me just hyperbole saying, like, that movie's a piece of shit. Like, it's not, I don't think it's a good movie, but I will not sit here and tell you that the people who worked on it, the people who directed it, the people who made it, didn't put in their time and effort. And I'm not going to sit here and say, you guys all wasted your time, and let me count the ways as to how I will dismantle your movie and throw it back in your face. And that was, writing that book for me has always been like, Ebert, like, stop jerking yourself off. Like, we get it. You know how to write a takedown of a movie. We get it.
There are filmmakers that I will say that to their face if I ever see them.
Oh.
Friedberg and Seltzer. I will have no shame.
I know. You really hate them.
I will have no shame telling those motherfuckers, your films suck, you can't write, you can't make a film, and you shouldn't be making movies. You should be taking my order at McDonald's, you untalented hack. And I will feel no guilt about it because they suck. I mean, sorry, get off on it.
Goddamn.
Sorry, I fucking hate Friedberg and Seltzer movies. They are the worst, laziest type of writing. The reason is I feel they put no effort into it. They write easy jokes that anybody can do, and they call it a script. They don't feel any passion, To them, this is easy paycheck. We'll just write, we'll just rip off a scene from a trailer and put it in our movie and call it satire. Fuck you. Just fuck you. And
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. That is just massively lazy. Like, it's just it's lazy. It's lazy storytelling. It's lazy script
writing. And what bothers me is like
lazy parody.
It bothers me is like there are so many talented writers out there fighting desperately to even be seen, to even for their stuff to be read, for their stuff to, for comedies to be, brilliant comedies. But studios pick just the worst, easiest targets. It's like, hey, we're going to make fun of Twilight. Give us the money. And it's just so lazy and just cynical. Very cynical.
Well, and I do not at all disagree with you. I look at the kinds of movies that those two make, and I shake my head because, again, to your point, it's lazy. And, some people might even say that a film like Vice Versa is lazy, and I wouldn't be inclined to disagree with them. It is a lazy trope that they made a movie around, but they also they did more than nothing.
Yeah, they at least were doing something with it. They weren't just, okay, their bodies are swapped. Let's let the jokes write themselves.
And theoretically, the jokes should write themselves.
But I think this kind of movie, like, you have so many scenarios that you can mine that you would never run. If you're smart about it, you would never run out of things to mine. Yeah.
I mean, again, take Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage out of this, cast 2 other actors. I'm not sure we'd be talking as glowingly about this
Absolutely
movie.
not. But, I mean, going back to the change-up, they did have 2 charismatic actors. They had Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds, who I think are...
But here's the thing. They were charismatic. They're charismatic together is not reality. Them charismatic apart is. I mean, they're very charismatic apart. I don't think anyone's going to argue Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Are charismatic actors, but I will argue that they are not charismatic together.
Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming, because do you think it comes off kind of more like who could be more funny or who could be more charismatic, kind of a battle between them when they're together?
It should have been.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like any of them tried. Okay, let's go back to vice versa. Let's get back to some things that bothered me.
Sure.
I don't know if you know about there are a couple scenes that I found a little disturbing. Like the scene where Corin Bohr almost kisses Fred Savage.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that was all about.
From what I take of it, is she was seeing Judge Reinhold's soul in Fred Savage and what she cares about him when they first met, and kind of going for...
I think you're right.
But it was still creepy.
But the issue is... Well, the problem is there's no good way to do that scene.
Yeah, because I don't want Corin Bohr to go full pedophile. Thank you.
I mean, that's what they were.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and also the scene where they change back and they're naked, sitting in front of each other. I don't know why I found that just so creepy and unnerving.
Also not great.
No, it was.
Also not. I mean, it's, again, that is the issue with body swap movies that, again, the people who make the films have to navigate is there are inherently scenarios, especially when you've got an age discrepancy between the two characters like you do in this film, that some of these scenarios, they shouldn't be going to those scenarios.
Like,
like the one you're talking about with Fred Savage almost kissing a child, almost kissing an adult woman. Not, mind you, the adult woman is the one initiating the kissing, too.
Exactly. And there's a scene when they first switch bodies, he gets out of the shower, he looks down to look at his unit, see what he's packing. What kid wants to see what their father's dick looks like? I'm sorry.
That is the quote of the podcast, and that's the quote of the year. What kid wants to see what his father's dick looks like?
Well,
Trevor Gumbel.
He looks. He gets out of the shower. He's like admiring himself in the mirror, and he looks. Oh, he opens the towel to see what he's packing, and then you see him kind of, fuck yeah, I got it.
Yeah, dude, my dad's got a big fat
dick.
cock, bro.
So when they switch back, so let's hypothetical scenario. They've switched back. Now he knows what his dad's cock looks like. That's therapy that no one can pay for. He's gonna need so much, like.
What about the fact that he made out with his soon-to-be mom?
As Judge Reinhold, yeah, that is ramifications that are, good Lord. And I swear to God, they almost had sex. I could have sworn they were going there.
I would not have been surprised if they had.
Well, it's like, remember the movie Big? You've seen Big, right?
I have not seen Big.
Okay, well, there is a scene where Tom Hanks and Elizabeth Perkins, she takes off her shirt, and she puts his hands on her breasts while her bra is on, and it's implied that they had sex. So think about it now. He turns back into his 12-year-old self. Elizabeth Perkins now has to live with the fact that she fucked a 12-year-old in big, not in real life. Let's say that right now.
It's, for me, it is one of those things where I am not a fan of... I'm not a huge fan of that coming into a movie where it's the age discrepancy is so much.
Yeah, me
like
too.
You want to do it with like Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds, cool, but like a kid and an adult, like
especially when the adult's in a relationship.
And they kind of did it. They kind of did it in like Father Like Son, and it didn't work there, and it works even less here because again, in like Father Like Son, he's effectively an 18-year-old. In this movie, he's fucking 11.
Yeah. So
and not 11 fucking, because that's what they're going for in this movie.
Oh God! I mean,
it's not great. It's actually really bad and kind of disturbing, like you said.
The 80s were,
and I don't know what's more
man.
disturbing: him looking at his dad's cock, or him almost fucking the shit out of. Because by the way, if they had their druthers, you would have Fred Savage's Judge Reinhold railing his soon-to-be mom with his father's penis that he just looked at.
Yeah, Corin Bohrer was ready to go in that scene, man. She was...
And so was fucking Fred Savage's Judge Reinhold. He was ready to go.
As Judge Reinhold as Fred Savage, Corin Bohrer was really feeling that. Did you notice that?
Yeah, she was feeling it. She felt all of it. It was again.
She was into him as Fred Savage.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked this movie, but boy, yeah, there are some
creepy implications.
There are some weird ramifications, weird implications to this movie that I do not think the writing team, they did, and they were just like, it'll be funny, and it's like, it's not funny, it's actually kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's not even kind of creepy. It is totally creepy.
Yeah. I mean, good Lord, people, think before you write.
Don't make your audience uncomfortable at the idea of a main character in your film fucking an adult while he's supposed to be a child. Like, that's just...
Yeah, couldn't get away with that today, thankfully.
No, I'm not sure I don't know if they got away with it then, but it was fucking weird then, and it's fucking weird now.
Well, Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 stars, so he must not have had too big of a problem with it.
What would you give the film, Trevor?
I would give it a solid 4. I'll give it a solid 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Solid 4?
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 4.
Yeah, I'll give it like a 3. I mean, again, it's a good, fun film.
Judge Reinhold just levels it up so much.
I mean, their charisma, their chemistry together is so good that, I mean, again, it's like when someone says, the sauce is so good you could put it on a fucking boot and eat it. It's kind of like that. Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage have such good chemistry that you could put the two of them in a movie together right now and they'd probably still have chemistry.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about the best scene, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which I think is the best scene in the movie, where he finally gets his revenge on that bully.
Oh, yeah.
In the bathroom scene.
Ajay Naidu from
Office Space. Yeah.
With a very young Ajay Naidu.
Well, with all the hair.
Yeah.
It looks like he shouldn't be in that school. He should be in like high school or something. But Judge Reinhold busts in the bathroom door pretending to be a narc.
It's a pretty good scene.
It's a very funny scene. Were they smoking weed or cigarettes?
I think they were smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
But Judge Reinhold acted like they were smoking weed.
Yeah, because he picks it up and smells it, and he tells him he'll be back in 30 minutes, and they better have the toilets gleaming. Just that was a perfect kind of revenge for the shitty character that Ajay Naidu was.
So on that note, let's take a break and we'll play a preview for the next podcast for December. Next Kulturecast for December.
Good morning. Morning. That's me, Millie. Ordinary, boring Millie.
I love your dress. I think I saw it at Discount Bonanza.
Okay, so I was never the most popular.
Homecoming's this weekend.
Booker is gonna be at the dance.
And boys never really noticed me.
Wow!
Honestly, if this was a horror movie, I'd be one of the first ones to get killed.
Cue the creepy dude in the mask.
Like I said. Actually, it turns out...
Where am I?
I didn't get killed.
Oh my God, why do I sound like that?
I woke up in the killer's body.
The Blissfield Butcher strikes again.
Don't freak out.
You're black! I'm gay! We are so dead!
Ow! Will you stop? It's me, it's Millie! Hail, Blissfield, high, feel our glory and our might.
And not only is that psycho wearing my body, he's killing it.
He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Who knows how many of our friends he's gonna kill?
Are you sure this is safe? No.
Oh my God, it's a slaughterhouse.
I have like less than 6 hours to swap back or I'm gonna be stuck in his body forever.
Hurry up, loser, I gotta take a dump.
I have to admit, it hasn't been all bad.
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Move! How's that feel? I'll make you wish your stupid face was never born. Oh my God, did you just pee yourself?
Yes!
Whoa, what am I wearing?
I'm actually really liking this for you. Great. We're gonna get killed by Murder Barbie.
I can't wait to kill you.
Time to stop this asshole.
We're in this together.
I want my body back.
Come and get it.
Look, I know I look like the butcher, but it's Millie.
He's crazy.
Okay, Booker, can you look at me, please?
Booker!
Dry up, bitch.
Booker, help! Booker!
Will you shut up?
Booker!
That's right. On the next Kulturecast, we're actually talking about, and this is a shock to, I think, everyone, we're talking about a new movie that came out in 2020.
What?
Yeah, what the fuck? What are you talking about? We're going to be talking about Christopher Landon's Freaky. Now, Christopher Landon is the gentleman who directed Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. So Freaky just kind of looks like that movie, but with a body swap.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean...
Yeah, so...
But Happy Death Day
I hope it'll be good.
But Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You were great films. Really fun to watch, so...
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your podcast on it.
I'm looking forward to watching it because it's gotten good reviews, but it's also gotten good reviews from people whose opinion I do not trust. So there is that. I will be joined by our good friend Jess Byard and the man with the plan from the Projection Booth podcast, Mr. Mike White. But until then, where can people find you, Trevor?
Well, like you said at the beginning, you can find me at the On Seagal podcast. You can also find me on Twitter at Case Neuromancer. And you can find me on Instagram as Mad Vertigo.
And as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Christmas Claus. I have changed my Twitter handle because I got sick of it being something related to people dying. And as always, you can find me on the On Seagal podcast, Dreams for Sale, Chronicles from the Crypt, Scary Stories We Tell, the Barty Miller podcast, and the One Season Show. So there's a lot of podcasts, and that's not a bad thing. If you've got a lot of time and you want to listen to some good content, you know where to look. As always, big thanks to Trevor for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.